You want sports? We got sports for you right here, Woodward Sports.
I'm never late. I'm always on time.
Oh.
When have I ever watched him?
I want wings and pizza.
Is wings and pizza?
I want wings and pizza.
Yeah. I played with that gorilla. You hear me?
Okay. You have a Tesla. You float here.
What is up? So glad you could join us on a Thursday morning. Joique Bell, Terry Foster, I'm Sean Baligian. Lots to get into today. How are you, fellas?
I'm hanging there, having a good day.
Morning. Throwback Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh, Throwback Thursday.
Throwback Thursday.
I always like throwing back with you fellas on a Thursday.
Yes, appreciate it. Very, very much so. So much going on. Obviously, Pistons with the number one pick. We hope that this is really the start of getting this thing turned around. I mean, that's the way it is. I mean, we've talked about it so many times on this show. I love the fact that Troy Weaver did what was overdue. And he said, the way you all are operating isn't working. And he ripped it up and said, all right, let's go. And now's the hard part.
Don't you think he's already started it? Because last year with all the, I'm going to do things differently than everybody else and bringing in two, all-star type players and. But this is supposedly, if they get Cade Cunningham, the crowning piece, and then he'll supposedly lead these guys. But he's already got a good foundation.
Couldn't agree with you more. It was I've used this term for a good decade. For a long time, the Pistons were a hamster on the wheel. They were, and people got mad at you when you said they weren't going anywhere. And you know what? This guy said the way we've operated isn't work. I'm going to say the same thing I said yesterday. Look, there's no guarantee with this. There isn't. But you know what? I'm happy as a pig in slop that they're doing something different because the way they were operating wasn't working. And so, like I said yesterday, I get people being excited about getting number one, but it's the hard part. You got to make it count now. Yeah. You know, man, that's just the reality of it.
Yeah, I think Troy Weaver got rewarded for being a good general manager with the number one pick, because I'll be honest, I thought, the Pistons number one pick not going to happen because it just doesn't happen here in Detroit. But it did.
It did. What last time that happened? 1970?
70, right?
1970?
1970.
Big Bob Lanier.
50 years ago.
We were talking about not only the number one draft choices in the NBA, because I was talking to some of those wonderful souls on YouTube about this. It's amazing how many of these guys miss. And I'm a big fan of, you don't draft a guy number one overall. You draft a stud number one overall. And I'm not even talking about the Darkos of the world, okay, the guys. And there have been a few of those that have missed in the last decade. I don't want a guy. And it was funny because somebody said to me, well, if you don't want this non-all-star or that non-all-star, you should stick to hockey and golf or something like that. If you think that getting number one overall, the pot of gold that you open, is a non-all-star type of player, you're a dumbass.
Yeah,
Let me not mince words there. You want a franchise changer.
Do you want Benoit Benjamin? I mean, there's been some duds at number one, but there's also been people like Magic Johnson. And,
exactly it.
Mm-hmm. And normally you hit on number one, but it's not a guarantee.
No, and it's like and that's the funny thing. Like, you want a stud? I don't want a good player. How did all those good players the Pistons drafted in the past 13 years draft out? You don't want a good player. You want a stud. Mm-hmm. Now, again, I don't know for sure. I think we can make an educated guess that they draft Cade, and let's see how that plays out. Terry, it's not very often that there's a consensus. Is it safe to say that he's the consensus number one?
Yeah, that is safe to say. But however, I will say this, that if Troy Weaver doesn't believe he is the consensus number one, he'll pick somebody else.
You got it.
And he'll take the heat because we'll always say, Troy's going crazy. What's wrong with him? But he will do it for a reason because he will look at Cade Cunningham or he'll look at somebody else and say, you know what? This dude's going to be better, so I'm going to take this
Terry,
other guy.
where were you yesterday? I could have really used you for my sanity yesterday. I'm serious. I could have used you for my sanity yesterday.
I guess I should have been on YouTube with you yesterday as you were fighting. You know what? You need to stop doing that because you know what's going to happen?
What's going to happen?
You're going to get high blood pressure. You're going to get
somebody else said that.
Up.
There was a doctor on there that was talking that way. No, that's it. That's exactly it. It's kind of funny. It's like, guys, can I wait? Just me personally. Can I wait to see who the pick is first before I have my party? Am I allowed to do that or no?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
But no, you can't.
No.
I couldn't yesterday.
No. Yes, he can. Yes, he can. But I wouldn't say celebrate. I would just say be happy for the pick because we still have to see what they do during the season. Mm-hmm. Point blank, end of story. Same thing we did with the Lions. We like what they're doing, but we got to wait till the season. Same thing with the Pistons. We got the number 1 pick. But let's wait till the season.
I'm glad you said that. You know, I said the same thing. And the people, you were not on the show. The people blasted us a little bit for being too negative.
It's not being negative.
I'm Mr. Pessimistic because I said that.
Well, you know what it is? You have people that are realists. You have people that are opportunists. You have people that are realists. And I wouldn't, you wouldn't be that. I would call you guys a realist. I mean, and we want to stay here. And the worst thing you could do is go up here and then it's not what you want and then you crash. So I'd rather just stay right here. So whether they do good or bad, it's kind of what we expected.
Now, Joique Bell just said that. Now, what team did you used to play for?
I played for the Lions.
Okay, you played for the Lions,
I played for the Lions.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's see where you're being negative.
I'm not being negative. I'm being honest.
You're not.
I'm not being honest.
No. You're being honest and you're not being negative. But you missed Monday's show when we said the same thing and just got crucified on their little text thing.
Yeah, I wish I would have been here to kind of back you guys up a little bit.
That's some grounded stuff. Look at
that. These guys went absolutely ape shit.
That's some grounded stuff, right?
Yeah, but but
that's logical.
You got to think for us. Yeah. You got to think too. You know why I call it a victory? I said you got to celebrate the small victories. They're celebrating a small victory because we haven't had a lottery pick in 50 years.
Right.
So they're just excited. It's been 50 years.
And they're young.
Come on.
Yeah.
Now, it's funny when things like this happen, you find yourself, at least I do. I'm a big fan of I try to reason with people. And then when I find myself in these conversations, like I'm serious. Somebody, and I hope he's watching, somebody legitimately said to me, like in the YouTube comments yesterday, if you don't accept a non-all-star player number 1 overall and just a guy, then you should stick to hockey and golf. And I'll stick to hockey and golf. You need a difference maker, period. That's why it's the number 1 pick. You need a stud. And you also have to be cognizant of the fact, that there's a chance that, are you ready? He might not be that guy. What? How could you say such a thing? Well, look at the last 10 years of the NBA draft. Look at the last 20 years of the NBA draft. I mean, that's just... Nope, I'm supposed to jump up and down and just be excited over a guy we don't even know his identity now. Like, think about that. We don't even know who Troy Weaver is going to pick. But I'm supposed to be excited.
I think we know.
I think so. That's a key and operative word, though. I think so.
But I also believe him when he says he's still doing his due diligence.
I believe him.
Because Troy Weaver can't rely on Hoops Magazine. He can't rely on Yahoo.com. He can't rely on ESPN.com.
Yeah.
He's got to rely on
himself and his own eyes.
Yeah.
And the people he have in the front office.
I have always felt I want a general manager who's going to do his due diligence. And sometimes a general manager is going to make moves that isn't really popular with his fan base. And that's the reality of that job. Terry, I remember a few years ago, Remember when the rumors were out there about Miguel Cabrera? Miguel Cabrera, the Tigers are entertaining. They're entertaining offers for Miguel Cabrera. People lost their shit. I mean, absolutely lost their shit. And my mentality is, and I said, I don't want them to trade Miguel Cabrera. Let's get that. But nobody wants to hear that part. They mean, evil, pessimist, all that crap. I want a general manager that's going to look at every potential option, every single option, and entertain that. And fast forward, 5-6 years, boy, it sure would have helped the Tigers out if they did sell high with Miguel Cabrera, wouldn't it? And that's the stuff people don't want to hear about that. And this is where, let me say this, Terry, and this goes back to your point. We think it's Cade, right? What if a guy who, I think I can speak for these two, everybody up here trusts Troy Weaver.
True.
Do you trust Troy Weaver? My guess is, based on your reaction yesterday, you trust Troy Weaver. What if Troy Weaver saunters up to the podium and yells out a name other than Cade Cunningham?
He'll get crushed in this town. And he better be right.
You nailed it, Terry. You nailed it.
Or bet be right.
That's right? We don't know right now. We really don't. We think we know.
We think we know.
But we don't know right now. So we'll wait and see how it plays out. No, I'm not allowed to say that. I know this. They are going to pick a guy who's going to be the greatest player ever. That's what I know for a fact.
If Corey with a K walks in here, that means he has some breaking news. And we want to come back to Corey.
Corey with a K.
After we take this break. But before we take this break, let me tell you about Northwestern Tech. Start a new career in an industry that is always essential, the heating and cooling industry. To learn more today, go to northwesterntech.edu. Joique Bell, Terry Foster, Sean Baligian, and this is Woodward Sports. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Call Sam Chopper Shop, where you can win a custom-built chopper while helping our veterans at the same time.
Watch as the Bad Pig Custom team turns this bike into a one-of-a-kind classic chopper.
And when it's finished, we'll be donating the bike to Volunteers of America Michigan to raffle off in support of our vets.
A great cause to give back to those who've given so much.
Watch for Call Sam Chopper Shop episodes on our social media channels and get your raffle ticket today at callsam.com/chopper shop.
Ladies and gentlemen, Corey with a K. Hi, Corey with a K.
What's going on?
Break it down for us.
When Corey with a K comes walking in, I wish we had the Corey with a K cam, because Corey comes in and he's usually, crap you not, he walks in and he's holding his phone up in the air. So we know Corey with a K's got something. What you got, Corey with a K?
No, you don't give him enough credit. When Corey with a K walks in here, the world changes.
It's true.
That means the world has changed.
Point. The world has changed.
Tell us how the world has changed.
Get ready to change the world.
Well, there's going to be a familiar face back in the Central Division for the Detroit Pistons, because the Indiana Pacers have rehired Rick Carlisle as head coach, 4 years, $29 million.
Okay, the world has changed.
The world has changed.
When he was coaching them, they were a number one seed. Remember, he didn't get the Pistons over the hump. They let him go for Larry Brown the next year. He ended up becoming the Pacers coach, number one seed. And now he was also the coach of the Pacers during the old Malice in the Palace. So maybe we're going to have, something in the LCA again. I don't know.
Corey with a K. If the Pistons had kept Rick Carlisle instead of Larry Brown, do they win that championship?
No.
They don't win that one?
I don't think they win that championship off of a few things. From a few things that I've heard from people that worked in the organization and former players, they didn't like Rick. And if they didn't like the coach, that was already doomsday from there. I don't think he made the proper adjustments. I don't think Chauncey Billups would have been the point guard that he is without Larry Brown. Chauncey scored, but he wasn't as composed, wasn't that kind of a leader. So I don't think he would have done it.
All right. Yeah, Larry Brown changed Chauncey Billups. And Chauncey didn't like it when he was going through it. But at the end, he's like, okay, I'm a better point guard, and bam. So, yeah, that you wouldn't have had his leadership if you just had Rick Carlisle here.
Yeah.
You know what, going back, Corey, I couldn't help but, go back in my memory banks to this. And, Terry, I remember, vividly talking to you at the NBA Finals that year. The thing that jumps out to me, Corey, in regards to your question, I think everybody thought at the time, 03-04, that the Pistons were a year away. because guys like he and I grew up in an era. I don't want to speak for you, Terry, so you chirp up if you disagree. We grew up in an era where it was like, okay, first they had to get over the Hawks, and they finally got over that hump. And then they had to get over the Celtics, and they finally got over that hump. And then they had to get over the... So I think we were like going, well, this is just like the 80s. I've seen this play out. I don't think, whether people want to admit it or not, I don't think anybody thought that they were going to beat that team of mercenaries that the Lakers were, that they were still a year away. But I would think, Terry, that everybody agreed that Larry Brown took them next level just the same, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. I didn't think that they were going to be that good that fast, but once they got to the once they got through, to the playoffs started, I honestly did feel they had a run in them when they actually. I was honestly worried about them getting past the Nets first because that was their Achilles heel the year before. So I was worried about the Nets. Once I saw them get past the Nets, I'm like, okay, it's smooth sailing because I think they can beat the Pacers. And then when it came to the Lakers, everybody was on the Lakers jock that year. I felt that one, Shaq was still Shaq, but Shaq wasn't the same Shaq. Shaq was fatter. He was slower, out of shape. Gary Payton was still serviceable. Karl Malone, we saw he didn't even finish the series. And so really what was left was Kobe. And Kobe did Kobe until, couldn't do it no more. And then that was still the 2-3-2 format. I felt only thing the Pistons had to do was steal one in L.A. Once they stole one in L.A., I was good because I didn't think they were going to drop any game at the Palace, and they didn't.
Yeah.
Here is my dealings with that. Before the series began, I thought the Lakers were going to win. The papers sent me out to L.A. to do some pre-series coverage, and when I went out there, for the first time in my life, I saw Kobe Bryant was unfocused. His teammates didn't know who they were playing, and they were saying things about when and so I'm like, okay, these guys don't even know what's happening. They don't really know what the Pistons about to bring to them. Then I switched. I said, there's no way they're going to beat the Pistons.
I was more worried about the Pistons facing the Timberwolves that season more than I was about the Lakers. I felt if they would have faced the Timberwolves, it might have been a closer series. But the Lakers, I wasn't really worried about.
Well, do you remember, again, what happens sometimes when teams win championship is through the passage of time, people kind of create this narrative, right? Like, oh, we knew all along it was just a magic run. What people were openly talking about on the broadcast back then was it didn't matter. Indiana or Detroit, they were going to get crucified.
Yeah, drilled, but everybody said they were going to get drilled.
That was the narrative. And so I think what that did, Terry, that's a fascinating story. I never knew that about what you saw when you were out there. Mm-hmm. But you know what? I think this is why this city embraced that team like no other team I've ever seen. I'm serious. I've said that many times. That's no disrespect to any other championship. But I think this city embraced that team because everybody was down on them. Everybody was, the whole Detroit versus everybody thing.
That was Detroit versus everybody before Detroit versus everybody.
And it was, and that's why that was so interesting that year. But again, I get it. For a lot of people, it's a revisionist history. We knew all along. There are people that were writing their tombstone during the New Jersey series.
Like I said, I didn't know I knew they had a run after they got past New Jersey. After that, after they got past New Jersey, I'm like, okay, they got a real shot. Because I was still scared about New Jersey. They were still the beast in the East.
I've never been in a louder arena or stadium in my entire lifetime than in the Palace when they beat New Jersey. Honest to God, I don't. Terry, I'm sure you were there. It hurt.
Yeah,
it hurt. It really did. It hurt your ears.
Sadly, you never got that type of crowd during the Bad Boys era.
No,
it was, penny loafers and Italian loafers and sweaters around your shoulders. Type of crowd. They weren't really loud during the Bad Boys era.
And even during the finals, as crazy as it sounds, it wasn't as loud as it was in the New Jersey series because what happened is it became now you had to go. Now the Pistons are in the NBA Finals, so I have to go. Whereas, you know what? It was more the average Joe in that New Jersey series.
Was the Palace, was that in the Bad Boys era? Was that the Palace or was that?
Yes.
Yeah, the first year of the Palace, they won the championship.
That was an 89
89 season.
Yep. Such a
Man.
beautiful.
And
arena.
what
yeah,
happened was
beautiful.
the difference between the bad boy era is the parents went to see Isaiah Thomas and Bill Laimbeer play, but then they passed their tickets along to their kids because the Pistons weren't supposed to be as good. They weren't, and so the arena was louder in the early 2000s than it was
Easy.
in 1989 and 90.
Easy, absolutely easy. And now, sorry, we're going down memory lane. Some of those games at the Silverdome were off the hook nuts.
Oh,
When they were playing at the Silverdome?
My cousin told me stories about going to those conference finals of Bulls and Pistons. Said it was just
Well, what they had, I want to make sure, Terry, if I'm incorrect, yell at me. I think they had $3 tickets upstairs.
They had dollar tickets, damn it,
Was it
motherfucker.
dollar tickets?
Yeah.
I just knew it was incredibly. So you know what you would get? You would get a bunch of guys like me and my maniac friends that we'd all lie and go, I'm sleeping over Terry's house tonight, and Terry's sleeping over, and we're sleeping over Joique's. So our parents.
Now we can't get an invite to Joique's, man.
Yeah, and so we weren't
Wait,
like,
all that.
So we went to the games, and so that place was nuts because the whole third level was full of maniacs like us because we weren't going downstairs. We knew that, and that's why you had that Celtics game where there were 59,000 people there. I mean, it's insane. It
Where
was
could
insane.
you get your tickets? You know what one of the biggest ticket brokers were in Detroit? A gas station,
Yep.
Sinclair.
Yep.
Remember the dinosaur, the
Yep.
green dinosaur?
Absolutely.
That's where
Well-
where you got your $1 or $3 tickets from them.
Yep.
you see when the Pistons won their first title, I was 2.
Two.
So I'm
Yeah.
assuming you weren't at the games.
No,
No.
All right.
No. He was 2. I think I might have been 3. I thought about
It
3.
was a special.
That's crazy.
It was a special time. It was.
That's
the
crazy.
Silverdome was like. I've said this 100 times. Like I revere the Silverdome. The place was a dump. It was. I mean, it was a dump. Okay, but it was our dump.
Yeah.
Like that's the way that I always looked at. That's the way that I always looked at the Silverdome. I mean, it was a terrible building. I mean, years before they ripped it down, but it was.
I never been to the Silverdome.
It was a dump. It was. It was. Honestly,
Yeah,
it was.
Did
a
you
dump.
like the? But did you guys like the Tigers' old stadium?
I love Tiger Stadium.
I liked it, not loved it because of the history of black people at Tiger Stadium. For instance, my grandfather always had this. When he went to games, he loved the Tigers. He'd always have to sit in the lower deck bleachers because they didn't want black people sitting between the first and third base line. So I had this history problem with Tiger Stadium because of racism. So that's why I liked it, but never really loved it. But the Silverdome, man, brother, you wouldn't have liked it because they played on carpet.
They played on the AstroTurf.
It was.
No, it wasn't even AstroTurf.
Yeah,
brother.
it was cement. It was
yeah.
just. It was. Joique, it was like Northern Michigan. You know how yeah, it was like Northern Michigan. Where that, I mean, they Terry, I couldn't agree with you more. That's glorified carpet is all it is.
Right.
It's just glorified carpet.
Now, I have run, not as a running back, but I have run on some surfaces, and some of those carpets make you faster. It's like your legs go up higher and everything. I said, hey, I'm running a little bit faster. Silverdome wasn't like that.
No.
It was dangerous.
Tiger Stadium was also a dump. It's not popular to say. The place was literally falling apart. It was dangerous. And nobody likes to say that because they revere Tiger Stadium. It was a dangerous. I mean, it was
because it was a debate for a while whether they were going to keep it up as a landmark or tear it down. They had to tear it
sadly
down.
they had to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, the place was dump.
But they
Loved
turned it into something beautiful now. It's something beautiful there.
It's
now.
cool. I always drive by there every time going to the Tigers again on Saturday. I always, honest to goodness, my ever since Comerica Park opened, my tradition is to drive by Tiger Stadium for every game that I go to. So I get off right off Michigan Avenue and I drive by Tiger Stadium every
the coolest
Tiger game I
addition.
go to. Yeah.
Stop at Nemo's sometimes.
Great burgers. Mm-hmm. Great burgers, no doubt about it.
I'm never in Corktown that often. I think I probably was able to kick it out there like once or twice. Went to a restaurant for an event and to the old Tiger landmark for a PAL event. It was good though. It was pretty
PAL has taken over the Tiger Stadium site. Pretty much. They got football games, baseball games, whatever.
cool. Yeah.
All right, Terry, always a pleasure. I know you got a lunch to get to.
Uh-huh.
Nice to see you, pal.
You too?
Enjoy your
Always a
weekend.
pleasure.
All right.
Where are you going to lunch? Are you allowed to say?
We're going to some place called Yard Barkers or something. It's Yard Dog or Yard Barker.
I used to know all the restaurants. I don't anymore.
But
I don't either.
that's out
It's
there in
sad.
Troy?
It's in Troy.
It's in
Yes.
Troy?
All
I
right.
stopped there one day, liked it, had some appetizers and stuff. So I'm gonna go out there with Mini Vinny, or Skinny Vinny, which is Vince Goodwill. We call him Skinny Vinny, and
Make sure to give him a follow on Twitter. He's Terry Foster. He'll be back on Monday as well. Don't you go anywhere. We have a special guest in studio as well. Pretty cool thing going on. We'll let him tell you about it. So glad you could join us. It is a Thursday morning. Joique Bell, Sean Baligian.
hey, he
Woodward
looks like
Sports.
Juicy a little bit.
He got a little juice going on.
Little Juicy J.
He's a handsome devil.
Yep.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Again, so glad you can join us. It is a Thursday morning here on Woodward Sports. My name is Sean Baligian. Of course, Joique Bell in the house. And as a matter of fact, we have a special guest. I haven't even had a chance to shake this man's hand yet. We appreciate him coming out just the same. Can I shake your hand? Is that all right?
Yeah, man.
In these days, I don't know what's acceptable and what isn't acceptable anymore.
Yeah.
Zach Crowe kindly joining us here on Woodward Sports. How are you, Zach?
Good. Thanks, guys, for having me. I appreciate it on behalf of the Hero Project. Can't say enough how much I appreciate it.
Well, for the benefit of people out there that aren't familiar with the Hero Project, can you explain to us what it's all about?
Yeah, so the Hero Project is a fitness organization that's a nonprofit, and we focus on pretty much providing people. Sorry, lean closer.
That's all right.
We help people that deal with family substance abuse. So a lot of times through addiction, the family members get impacted too, and so a lot of times they kind of go cold and kind of become, jerks. And so we pretty much help them realize that, and then make them, realize that they can change.
It's really inspirational. How old are you?
22.
Young.
Yep, just graduated. So
Congratulations
Good for
to
you.
you.
Appreciate
Good for
it,
you.
appreciate
Where'd you
That's
go to
amazing.
school?
Miami University.
Yeah.
In
Red
Iowa?
Hawk all day?
Yeah.
Okay.
No Florida. Just-
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I actually had a coach who left Wayne State to go coach there.
Really?
Yeah. No, that's serious.
Tuesday night Maction.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right. So, question. So, how did this group get started?
So I pretty much just founded it one day. I just kind of realized it when I was at the gym. I had someone come up to me and ask about some just general, basic general nutrition advice, and I'm not a professional. So what I want to do is kind of create a team that can help people with fitness, and then also help give back to the community. So we have a little team going with people that are personal trainers, and we just try to sell shirts and help provide for the local community.
Health as well.
Yeah,
Health as well. For sure.
It's interesting because I think this is such a positive way to deal with things. Unfortunately, I think so many of us have been touched by substance abuse, no matter what the substance abuse is. There can be many, many forms of substance abuse, and the easy thing for a lot of people to do, especially a hard-headed moron like me, is to say, stop doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's not that simple. And so what I like about this idea is you're using some positive things to maybe start some dialogue.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're trying to do. So a lot of times family members, they see their sibling or significant other dealing with it, and they don't really know how to react. So they kind of just become, they just kind of push it down. It's not me dealing with the issue. So why does it matter?
Right.
And then as years go on, they just kind of internalize it, and they're kind of cold and distant to those loved ones. And so wait a minute, they learn wait a minute, I'm just kind of a jerk, and I need to realize it, and we help change that.
So I was kind of going through you guys' website, and it said you guys help people or uplift people by emotional healing, accountability, and then also through fitness.
Yeah.
So when you have people dealing with substance abuse, how do you guys hold them accountable, and how do they take to it?
So obviously, seeking out professional help with the people dealing with substance abuse, that's a really important aspect of what we do. And so what we pretty much sell our shirts, our fitness plans, and we help with providing affordable housing for people that are dealing with substance abuse. So we help you, but you need to help yourself too. You know, we help with housing, paying for that. And then for the family members, we create safe groups for kids and brothers and siblings of people that deal with the addicted person in the household.
Great stuff. Zach
stuff.
Crowe kindly joining us. It's the Hero Project. He's here to tell some people about it. All right, so what are some of these workout challenges? I'm hearing about these workout challenges. What are some of these workout challenges?
Yeah, so we have 2 workout challenges. We have the Rising Hero, the Thriving Hero. It comes with the shirt too, with the signature Hero shirt. It's pretty much just a basic workout plan to help get people motivated. It's a summer challenge, and you know, you help get healthy for the summer, and then you get to help people that are trying to recover with their own issues.
So how can they get these shirts, and how can they be a part of this program and this competition?
Good job, Joique.
Yeah. So we actually, on the website now, we're going to start shipping. So if they go to theheroproject.net, as well as the Facebook page or Instagram page, they can message us. We can send out a shirt. We send the plan, and we just get it out to you guys.
Man, that's amazing.
Appreciate it.
You know what's funny? The older you get, and I think some of the guys, well, there aren't many people out there that are as old as I am, but the older you get, the one thing that I have noticed is just the importance of eating the right diet. Because when I was a kid, I could eat whatever the bleep I wanted. You know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, I'm going to go skate it off, or I'm going to go lift it off, or whatever the case may be. And something happens to your body. Trust me, you're all going to be there.
Yeah.
And in your 40s, all of a sudden, you don't bounce back, and you can't eat what you used to eat. Is that something? How early do you have to start thinking about stuff like that? Because you think you're indestructible.
Yeah.
You think you're Juicy Jeff when you're 22 years old, like this guy.
Well, I mean, you definitely know for playing in the NFL, like having how much nutrition plays into your daily routines.
Yeah,
you can't function without it.
You definitely get out what you put in. That is a fact, Sean.
Yeah, we
Cheetos.
we work with
Inside joke.
we work with a little nutrition shop in Toledo, Ohio called Bullfrog Nutrition. They're in Columbus too, and so they help with our nutrition as well, and they provide only third-party tested supplements and nutrition. So
question: do you guys team up with any restaurants or any chefs that do help with meal prepping, anything like that?
So we're just kind of starting with getting more into that. We're kind of still small.
Yeah.
We just launched in late May, so it's growing pretty well. I'd love to get involved with something like that.
Okay.
I think the Fitness Shack in Toledo, Ohio also does food prep with their gym too.
I'll get your information. I'll connect you with some people.
Yeah,
for sure. And
Appreciate
then
it.
question, how can people donate to your cause?
Yeah, sure. So on the website, I think I said theheroproject.net, there's a Venmo spot where you can donate. We're actually going to become a 501c3, an official nonprofit.
I was about to ask you that.
Cool.
I was about to ask you that.
Yeah, so we're working on that right now, and that all goes through that account and is donated 100%. So
That's
are all the
perfect.
shirts.
I'm gonna say the hardest part for you with that one is not going to be doing the paperwork, and submitting is going to be waiting on the government to get that to you.
Yeah,
That's what it's going to be.
It's a long process,
Yeah.
but it's picking up steam a little
For
bit.
sure.
So.
For sure.
Zach, Steve on Facebook asked a very important question. Am I allowed to have one day, like for example, a WAP Wednesday where I just eat wings and pizza? Is that acceptable, or would you say no? That's not a good thing.
That's actually it's not unhealthy if you're doing the moderations.
It's lifestyle.
Yeah, doing the moderations.
Yeah, you want to have a lifestyle with it. You don't want to be so restrictive that you fall off the diet or the healthy eating plan. So, just kind of, if you have a cheat day, you have a cheat day. Just get back on it.
Yeah.
Great stuff. No, honestly, can I ask you what the impetus was for you to get something like this started? Did you deal with something? I don't want to get too personal, but you seem pretty passionate about it and everything. Is there like an impetus for you that kind of made the light bulb switch on?
Yeah, so, I had a personal family member that dealt with it, and, it made me kind of cold. And once I realized that, I made, get closer? Thanks. Yeah, so I had a family member that I was close to that dealt with it. She's fine now, so everything's okay. But it made me kind of cold, and I didn't realize that. And then once I kind of realized, how I was kind of being a jerk to a lot of people around me, I took accountability, took action, and I wanted to change for the better. And that's kind of where this comes from.
I like you, dude. Yeah. No,
Thanks,
you know what? You just said one of my buzzwords in life is accountability.
Yeah.
It's so easy to blame the other person today in regards to many different things in life. And I think more often than not, the answer lies in the mirror.
Yeah, that's the thing is, we want people to realize that their stories matter and that it was significant, but it's not an excuse to treat people poorly, treat them high-handedly. And so we don't want people to do that. So we want to hit this from an early age and help people grieve properly.
Zach Crowe kindly joining us, the Hero Project. Do we have some of that gear that we can show people?
Yeah, sure.
Like Kennedy, can you play like the role of Vanna White and hold it up and everything? Because it's this is pretty cool. And when we were told about this, we were like, yeah, let's give him some love.
No, just hold it. We got to bring the
Yeah,
camera
just
to you. Yeah, we got to sit down in the chair. It's just so simple. Hold up a little bit higher.
Hold it up. Oh,
There
there you go.
The Hero Project.
Pretty good. Outstanding. Good
I
stuff.
love it.
Thanks, guys.
So are those our shirts you brought for us?
Yep, those are for you guys.
Okay.
We provide them in tank tops and in short sleeve, and 100% in-store proceeds for the shirt sales go completely to the cause.
Perfect.
We don't
Great
keep any-
stuff.
Perfect. You know, and it's kids, it's young men like you that give us older generation like me and Sean faith in the future. No, seriously.
I'm much older than you, Joique. Stop it.
Not much older.
The great grandfathers out there, right? that's exactly it. Zach, is there anything else you want to get out there? Because I think this is a great idea. Like I said, personally, I dealt with it. I know what it's like. I vacillated between wanting to beat the hell out of the person. Like, that's going to help.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll stop using. Thank you. You beat me up. I'll stop using. And what you pissed off all the time, and it's just not. It's not a good way to live.
It's hard. It's hard for the family members that deal with it, but once you realize it, that's kind of the change that we talk about. No, I mean just helping to promote it, just getting the word out, checking out the site, and just trying to help us expand a little bit more. And I appreciate you guys having me on.
No, great stuff. Appreciate
appreciate
you. Tell everybody again where they can find info on what you're doing, how they can be a part of what you're doing as well.
Yeah, so you can go to theheroproject.net. That's the website we have. You can check out all our workout plans, the shirts, everything else on there. We also have an Instagram page, and then we also have a Facebook page as well. I think it's the Hero Project 419 for the Instagram, and then if you type in the Hero Project, it should come up on Facebook.
Okay.
Outstanding. Great
Outstanding.
stuff. Zach, appreciate you,
Thanks,
man.
guys.
Thanks for coming out. Appreciate you greatly.
Thank you for the shirts.
Art, certainly something that I think all of us can relate to, unfortunately, is, there are people out there hurting, and, how can you keep it from hurting you? And I think that's a damn good thing. Hey, with baseball in full swing in the NBA playoffs, NHL Stanley Cup playoff off to a hot start, you can make each and every series matter by having a stake in the game at mybookie.ag. Now, regardless of whether you're betting favorites or dogs, player prop bets are just looking to make some cash. MyBookie gives you tons of options to make all your favorite matches a heck of a lot more exciting. And if you're looking to bet for the first time but don't know what to bet on, they are there to help point you in the right direction. Who would have thought the potential existed for a New York Islanders versus Montreal Canadiens Stanley Cup? Well, both the Habs and the Isles are just one win away. Can you imagine if you would have made that bet at the start of the playoffs? Go to mybookie.ag, sign up now, and use promo code Woodward to get your first deposit match halfway up to $1,000. Let them know that we sent you, so use promo code Woodward to get that free deposit bonus and start your day off with a W. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Appreciate Zach Crowe coming out there. It's the Hero Project. I think it's a great enterprise, and it started by a young man who wanted to help others. That's awesome. Good for you. All right, when we come back, we'll talk about some of the playoff action last night. So glad you could join us. He's Joique Bell. I'm Sean Baligian. This is Woodward Sports.
We are here, downtown Fenton, my favorite Bridge Street Exchange.
That's right. And you want to switch up your wardrobe this summer? It's this easy. You ready, Joey?
I'm ready.
All right, you ready? I like it. You want to do it again?
Yeah, let's do it again.
All right. Ooh, Brixton. Nice. One more time?
Yes.
Ooh, I like the hat on this one, too. You ready to do it one more time, Joey?
I'm getting tired. One last one.
All right, let's change it. Bro, where's your shirt? You need new clothes this summer. Bridge Street Exchange in Fenton. That's where you need to go. Thank you, guys.
Hi. How are you? Everything well? Good. Fantastic. Playoff action last night. You know what? It's kind of funny because my nightly routine, I'm just shooting straight with you guys. I'm watching the hockey game every night. You know what? The games have been fantastic. There was a great game
last night.
I didn't get a chance to see a lot of the other game last night, just point blank. I mean, so I know what I read. But the Lightning and Islanders was absolutely fantastic last night. And I think the beauty of it is, and this is the crazy thing about the game of hockey to me, guys, is I think everybody, after what happened in Game 5, thought that the Islanders were going to roll over and play dead except for the Islanders. And a little giveaway, mid-slot, and there's your overtime winner. And the fans in New York went absolutely bonkers for a couple of reasons. Number one, they won the game, obviously, and extend this to a Game 7. And then look at all the stuff being thrown on the ice. This might be the last game in that dilapidated old arena. And a lot of people in Long Island feel the exact same way about that arena as we were talking about, whether it be Joe Louis Arena or the Pontiac Silverdome or Tiger Stadium. Yeah, the place is a dump, but it's our dump. You know, and that's what a lot of people felt about the Nassau Coliseum. I've been there before. It is an absolute dump. No other way to say it. It is 40 years in the past. I mean, forget not 20 years, not 30 years. I mean, it's 40 years in the past. But you know how it is. People get, a kinship with a building, with a stadium, with an inanimate, an emotional attachment. Yeah. And it's an inanimate object.
What wasn't a dump?
You can't help it.
You know what wasn't a dump?
What?
The Palace.
Palace is beautiful.
It was beautiful.
Absolutely. I mean, it was beautiful until the day they blew it up. It really, like all Joe.
I mean, it's
beautiful. You know what we did? I think I told you this. One of the last events, I don't know if it was the last event, but one of the last events at the Palace was Roger Waters. I know, Art, you love Roger Waters. Roger Waters came in concert. He formerly of Pink Floyd. And so my son and I went to the concert. And you know what we did? Like, before the show started, we walked all around the Palace. Just like, okay, this is probably the last time we're going to be in the Palace. And it was funny because my son, and he was 17 at the time, he goes, Dad, why are they tearing this place down? And I get it. I do. I get it. It was time for the Pistons to move back downtown and LCA and all of that. And I love the commitment that the Detroit Pistons basketball club are making to all of Detroit. Like those, I'm not being PC. Again, if you watch a show, I hope you know me. I'm not going to be PC guy. Although very soon I am going to have a lie day, and I'm going to tell you that everything is awesome everywhere. But all jokes aside, it's great the investment that they've made to Midtown, around Wayne State. So many different things. It was time, but I wish they could have found something to use that building for. Because you're absolutely right, Joique. It was a beautiful building.
You know what it was though, and I think it was one of the main reasons why the Pistons were removed downtown is because it's just so far out.
I hated the drive.
And the reasoning that I believe that they went out there, the rumors that I heard, was because most of the season ticket holders were from out in that area. And so they built the Palace all the way out there. But outside of the Palace, there was nothing else out there. Nothing. And so it's good to have them to come back downtown. I think it'll help raise the value of the team. I think it's also going to bring alive downtown a little bit more. And by them coming downtown, we became the only city in the country with all 4 professional teams in all downtown, which is something to be proud of. So I'm excited about that as well. So the things that they're doing at Wayne State, I'm very excited about the new arena that they're putting up at Wayne State. They already have their practice facility there. I believe they're bringing their G League team to Wayne State, which they're going to allow Wayne State basketball to be able to use their arena as well. So I'm excited. So I'm going to be on Wayne State campus a lot more.
Joique, the crazy thing about it, too, if you look at, and I always bring this up to guys like you, so I joined the Wayne State family in 2009. What happened 2009 to now on that campus is mind-boggling. Yeah. What happened from the day that he walked on that campus, or even those that came before him, It's awesome down there.
You know,
No joke. I mean, Midtown is just cool.
Huge props and shout outs to President Wilson, the president of Wayne State, and then also Rob Fourier, the AD of Wayne State. I mean, what they've done with the athletic program, with the university, how it's grown over the years. I'm proud to be an alumni.
You know what's interesting? Can I get back to the hockey for just a second?
Mm-hmm.
And I think, you guys tell me if I'm wrong. I get it. You all want to hear that everything's going to be awesome. I get it. Like, I'm not, I know I come across as condescending, but I get it. Okay? I don't agree with you, but I get it. You know, things have to be better. We haven't had good things in so long. I get that, all right? You know what's good about the Stanley Cup playoffs right now? They are selling hope at bargain basement prices. And you know why I say that? Because you have a team in the New York Islanders who are just a nondescript team who finished 12th overall in the league, 4th place in their division. You have a team like the New York Islanders, 1 win away from the Stanley Cup. 1 from the finals, not winning the Stanley Cup. 1 win away from going 12th overall, okay? And on the other side, you have the Montreal Canadiens who finished 18th overall. Who, when you talk about a team backing in, there aren't enough beep, 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 beep on that truck to let people know how hard they backed into the playoffs.
You said the fluke is over, huh?
The fluke's over now. I mean, right at this point, how do you call them a fluke anymore? You can't. You can't. I mean, they've, like, seriously, here they are just 1 win away from the Stanley Cup Finals, and in their last 12 games, they're 10-2. I mean, it's not a fluke anymore, guys. I don't know what to tell you. It's not a fluke anymore. But with that being said, you know what that does to other fan bases? I don't know. Are Red Wing fans like this? Hey, maybe this is going to happen quicker than we thought. Maybe that 21-year-old kid who we thought was not ready for primetime yet is going to be like Nick Suzuki.
Right.
Maybe that 20-year-old kid named Cole Caulfield, who's 2'8", maybe our 20-year-old is going to be better than anybody thought. So I think that's what's cool about the Stanley Cup playoffs right now is they're selling hope. They're really, really selling hope. And I know that's what a lot of people around here, again, what I always like to do, you have to look at all sides. Could it happen? Well, yeah, anything can happen, right? And so I think what people do is they look at stories like the Islanders and they look at stories like the Montreal Canadiens and they say, well, why can't that be us? I get it. It's,
So,
it's fun. I get it. That's what fans do.
Sean, we're overdue for a break, but when we come back, I want to talk about Trae Young and my boy Gigi. You know, I'll call Giannis, I'll call him Gigi. We don't nickname terms. So when we come back, I really want to get into that game. It was an exciting game. There's some things that's going to happen or have to happen in order for the Hawks to win this series. And let's get into it when we get back. Sean Baligian, Joique Bell, Baligian the Bell Show.
Poor Zach out of here. Jeez, oh, Pete. Can we take the picture? Just take the picture. Here we go. Look at.
There you go. Come up here. Come on,
there
Zach.
we go.
Come up here.
This
Zach,
is great. The
here.
boss is in here. I'm sure the boss loves this. This is... Hi, Stick. Do you want to jump in the picture too, Stick? There we go.
You're not going to hop in? Okay.
Yeah, Zach, get in here.
Get in here.
There we go. This is great. Nobody wants my dumb face. This is for Joique anyway. I'm not dumb. Kennedy, your arm looks great on camera, though. I got to be honest with you. It looks.
Okay, my bad. We're looking at. We're so camera.
That's great, but
Hey, it's your world. Just take the shot. Good. Yeah.
There you go.
It's nothing to do with you. All right.
Nothing to do with you.
Good.
We love you, Kennedy.
All right, fantastic then. Now listen.
No problem.
As I said, and I think a lot of other fans can agree to this, I'm never going to go on the air and BS you guys. I was watching hockey last night. I didn't watch any of the game.
You know what? But I caught some of the game.
I'm glad you did.
It was a good, and you know what, man? This is probably one of the most exciting games we've seen. A lot of back and forth. I mean, the last couple of nights has been exciting basketball, even from the Suns and Clippers to the Hawks and the Bucks. It was a great game. But in order for the Hawks to win this, and I think it's going to go to 6. In order for them to win in this 6, Trae Young is going to have to remain healthy, and he's going to have to remain on the court and playing at this high level. One of 3 other youngest players to score 48 points in the playoffs at 23. I mean, backyard basketball on the court. They were having a good time on the court. They were playing loose. I mean, the little shimmy. Give me that. Just the confidence in the team right there. They're having fun out there, and they continue to play like that. Trae Young has to continue to play like that in order for them to win. But the X factor for that team is going to be John Collins. He came in, he put up 23 points. He played well. He got the team. Trae Young did a great job getting his team into the game as well. And so in order for them to win, this is what's going to have to happen, honestly. I mean, he's joining LeBron James and Kobe Bryant with 48 points before 23. Amazing numbers. And yeah, I mean, he's playing at a very high level right now. I see them winning in the 6, but you can never count the Bucks out. You can never count them out.
Yeah, we learned that last round. I mean,
yeah.
all jokes aside,
it's a little bit different. If they had all their players, it would have been a different. But they were able to take advantage of with other team disadvantages. With James Harden not being 100, losing Kyrie. They took advantage and they did what they were supposed to do. KD tried to keep him in, but he couldn't get it done. But as far as this series right here, Trae Young is going to have to remain healthy. John Collins is going to have to continue to put up 20-plus points a game and get the team involved. And it's going to be an exciting series. I'm excited to see it.
I'm glad to hear you say that, though, because I'm a firm believer. I'm sorry. You know what? In the playoffs, there are a lot of things that have to go your way. You need, luck. Let's face it. You need depth and things like that. I am never, ever going to apologize for another team being beaten up. Never. Never gonna come out of my mouth, ever. Your team, my team. Wow. Breaking news. In sports, injuries happen. And sometimes they happen to important players. So for me, and I'm not pointing the finger at you in particular here, Joique, but when I hear somebody say, well, the Hawks are lucky, they took on a less than team, or the Bucks are lucky they took on a less than team. Know that sports. A long time ago, I decided
nature of the beast.
Never, ever apologize for a victory. Never. And you know what? It happens. You hope it doesn't happen to your team. You hope that your team can stay healthy. But you know what? You got to find a way to overcome it. So, like, if I'm the Bucks right now, or I'm whoever, I'm not yeah, but if Brooklyn was healthy, yeah, and you know what? If my aunt had a dick, she'd be my uncle. Like, I'm not gonna apologize for that.
That was good.
Why would I? Like, it's so stupid. I don't.
Pretty good.
People get wrapped up in that stuff. Oh, these guys are blessed. Oh, well, that sucks. You mean an injury happened in sports? Wow, that's strange.
Yeah, I tell you this, we didn't apologize when we spanked GB 48-10 Thanksgiving.
Never
forget that.
Never.
I know Aaron Rodgers didn't play, but hey, there's no apologies here.
Oh, that sinks. I'm sorry.
No apologies here.
I'm sorry. That's always been just one of those things that always kind of.
No, I mean, but go back to that highlight real quick. I mean, Sean, they're playing backyard basketball. Who does this in the playoff when they throw it off the backboard in the top of his head? They having a good time. They playing loose. These young guys are playing loose. And when we talk about young guys coming in, Trae Young is a young guy coming in and making an impact on this team. He's been making an impact on this team since he stepped foot in the NBA. And so, I mean, getting his team involved, making great passes, making clutch shots, putting up 48 points. having a great time with his teammates, and just when he's out there, it's a different team. So in order for this team to make it to the final, he's going to have to remain healthy and continue to make plays and play at a high level, or they won't have a shot.
As Steve said, all teams play the same amount of games during the regular season.
Go back to it when he does a snatch back with the shimmy. He does the snatch back with the shimmy, waist form, split cat. Where you going?
What was that noise
shimmy,
you made?
Split cat.
Can we figure out what split cat is?
That's
How
famous
would you
Lowe's.
define split cat?
Split cat. You know, when you shoot back, you shoot the three. It's split cat. That was the sound the nets make. Split cat. Hold up, the little shimmy. I got this.
I never heard that. Split cat?
Oh, yes. Shout out to Lowe's. Famous Lowe's. I did.
Split cat.
Split cat.
Full disclosure, there was a conversation between Art and Kennedy today where Kennedy said KK, and I had to look up what KK meant. I didn't.
It
I
means
did.
like,
I looked
okay.
it up.
It means like, okay.
All right, but can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Couldn't you just put okay?
Yeah, but that's like the girl cute thing they do. They say KK, like K. Like.
All right, if you want to be lazy, though, just put K. Because then it could mean so many things. It could mean Kennedy. It could mean okay. Right?
Kenny, would you like to elaborate on this?
When you just text someone K, that normally means like you're being short with them and you're being rude, like you're mad.
But adding that 1K is all the difference in the world?
That's how they know you're being nice, and it's like not a bother.
All right,
if I would have just been like K Art, he would have been like, oh shit, she's mad.
Okay.
But he wouldn't have cared because he's in a mood today.
So, KR or just K?
If you just send K, especially K with
that
a
means
period,
I'm being a dick?
that means you're being an ass.
No, because I'll tell you this. Yesterday it was Art don't suck at your job. That was. Do you remember when you made that video, Kennedy? It was Art don't suck at your job. Then today it's Art's in a mood. I'm here to do a show. I want to get this show. We need to hit all topics today, so let's keep it going. We're almost there. We're so close to hitting all of them.
We're going to hit all the topics. But I have a question.
Why are the blinds going up? Why are the blinds?
I think we wanted to show everybody what a lovely day it is, and this makes me look even more white than I am right now.
All right, so
somebody is literally trying to give Art a heart attack. That's what's going on here. Like literally, somebody's trying to give
They're coming down, Art. You're okay.
On air? Jesus Christ. We're going to test something on air, guys. Hey, if anybody else wants to get some pictures in, now's a good time to do it.
Oh my gosh.
Don't worry, it all falls on me. You guys ain't got to worry about shit.
Art, you're amazing. You're an amazing human being. I'm a big fan of yours. No, Art, just for what it's worth, and I'm being a human being to you, okay? Because we all have feelings, right? And our feelings can get hurt, except by the morons on YouTube. A lot of people are asking about you. Are you okay?
This isn't the fucking Art show. Let's keep it going. We got 5-6 more topics to get through.
Okay.
Let's go.
He's not okay.
He's not okay.
To the Facebook people, he's not okay today. I don't know what the issue is. I hope it gets better, but I don't know what the issue is today.
All right.
Art, I hope your afternoon gets better.
Thanks, buddy.
Don't leave any more group texts. All right, here we go. Dr. Anderson.
Hey, at least I check them.
I did. I responded, and I got you your information.
Yeah, good for you.
Okay, yeah. All right. So,
actually, we got a break that we got to hit.
But that's in 2 minutes, right?
We hit ours last a little early. It's the Joique show, so go ahead.
All right. So, one topic we do want to tap into is the Dr. Anderson survivors. It also includes some U of M basketball players. It's just growing and growing and growing. So now, do we remove that head coach from the basketball team now, from the shrines of U of M?
He wasn't an icon, but you know what? I think when I read some of the allegations being made against him, and when I read some of the responses that came out, do you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of when Andy Cannavino was on the show last week. This is not an excuse. This is true. Look, things were different back then.
Can you read that comment for us, Art, please? We can't see that.
Yeah, so my clients predominantly are basketball players, and a member of them highly recognizable names. This is something bigger than Bo. This is something bigger than U of M. These are people. These are survivors. These are not people making up stories. They're not people who are looking to get rich out of a lawsuit or a little lawsuit. These are real people.
And I think what jumps out to me about this, Art, is one of the as yet to be named players said that he reported this to the coach, and the coach kind of laughed it off and like it was no big deal. And I'm just telling you, again, I'm speaking for me and nobody else, all right? If I was told back in the day when I was playing sports that I had to go see the doctor, and they said doctor's going to take your testicles in his hand and he's going to ask you to cough and he's going to stick a finger up your behind, I'm telling you point blank, I'd have never thought anything of it. And again, I'm not saying that it isn't right. I'm not saying that they aren't victimized, okay?
Yeah.
But that generation,
Yeah.
that's what we did.
That's what we did. What we had to do.
What we did.
To look up, turn your head to the left, cough one time.
That's
Head
what
to the
we
right,
did.
Cough.
And like, would I have thought it odd if somebody decided that he was going to lube up his finger or whatever the process is and stick it in my behind? Yeah, but I wouldn't have thought about it the way that it's thought about now. Now again, this is where I'm going to beg you. Don't hear what you want to hear. We had a lot of that yesterday, and I had to confront many of you about that. That doesn't mean that they weren't victimized. That doesn't mean that it's not wrong, okay? I'm just telling you. Like, it was funny because when we had on former Michigan captain Andy Canavino, he brought that up, and I said, gosh, damn, that's a great point. Because, yeah, did things like that happen to me? Yep. And I never thought a second of it. Yeah. It never crossed my mind that, wow, maybe this is wrong. Maybe this is some filthy pervert that's getting his jollies.
It would
I
have
never
been,
thought of it.
But that's the same routine we went through in high school. Same thing we went through in college. It's just what it was. What we had to go through.
Yeah, it's interesting because, I think this is only going to get bigger. And, what do you do? Do you erase every mention of these guys? Okay, let's take it to the logical conclusion. You erase every mention of these guys. Does that somehow fix the wrongs? Do you feel like you're honoring them? I don't know. It's such an interesting thought. We'll get your thoughts next. So glad you could join us. We're going to give you an opportunity to get registered for our $25K for crypto as well. So stay tuned for that. This is Woodward Sports.
Hi, I'm David Hall from All Financial. With historically low interest rates and 5-star service, you could pay your mortgage off faster without increasing your monthly payment. Get started now at 248-308-5000 or chat with us online. Call hallfirst.com.
Hey guys, I'm D-Mac.
Hey guys, I'm Pilar.
That was a little slow.
Right.
Hi, I'm D-Mac.
I wasn't ready. I was doing this.
Hi, I'm D-Mac.
Hey, I'm Pilar.
I'm Maz.
You're lit. Hi, I'm D-Mac.
I'm Pilar.
I'm Maz. We suck.
You suck.
Catch us Monday to Friday, 3 to 5.
Every day, right here on The Hook.
On Woodward Sports Network.
Steve said, I've had sports physical. Erasing names does erase what happened. Does it? You think it does? I mean, I'm not being swarmy. Do you think erasing names erases what happens? Is there healing from that? Like, what happened? Or are we blaming Bo Schembechler for the times that he lived in or for the times of inactivity? And these are honest questions. I think these are important things to talk about, right? I do. I think they're important things to talk about. I mean, and there are a lot of things like that in society today. Okay, let's take a statue of Teddy Roosevelt down. Then what? Who's next? Is there an end? Does this mean that once and for all it'll stop the wrongs of this world? That people are going to stop being violated? That people are going to stop being bigoted? That people are going to, like, really? I'm being honest. Is there an end? Because I'll do anything to come to an end. I really will. I'll do anything to come to an end. I'm serious. So is there an end? I don't know. Is there a time when people can stop feeling victimized? When people can stop feeling? Because I think if you feel that way, you're always going to feel that way. You can heal from it. I can tell you from personal experience, there are things that I went through that I don't need to share with people. That, am I healed from it? Yeah. When I think about it, do I still get anxious? You bet your sweet ass I do. It's never going to go away. You know, you learn to deal with it. You learn to manage it. You learn to not let it hold you down. But are things going to go away? I don't know what the answer is to that.
Things never go away.
Steve, I'm not confronting you or anybody. I'm just,
But
all
you
I can
know,
do is speak for me. I don't know.
This is what it is, though. Everyone deals with trauma a different type of way. Some people sweep it under the rug, act like it never happened. Some people need to confront it so they can deal with it head on. Just people have their own way of dealing with trauma.
I couldn't agree with you more.
And so for some people, this might help them with the healing process. And then also understand that, hurt people hurt people. So
I don't want to misrepresent Steve either. Steve said it was a typo. It doesn't erase what happened. I agree with that. It doesn't erase what happened. Okay. There are a lot of sad things that I think we as a society have to acknowledge and say we can't make those same mistakes again.
True.
But, I mean, a lot of things, whether it be with race, whether it be letting a guy like this stay on campus as long as he did. Yeah. There are a lot of things that we have to acknowledge they happen. But I think one of the things that frustrates me in life is when I'm asked to pay for what somebody else did. Not going to happen.
Yeah.
When you're asking me for reparations, you're not getting a dime from me. I didn't do a damn thing to you. My family wasn't on this continent. I'm not giving you shit. Not going to happen. If that's what you want, I mean, now.
Who you talking about?
Can I take that to the logical conclusion?
Reparations for who?
In general, descendants of slaves, whoever. You're not getting anything from me. I didn't do anything.
No, it's not. But it's not that you didn't do anything. But the country that you live in.
Who's going to pay for it?
Huh?
Who's going to pay for it?
Someone's going to pay for it.
Who's going to pay for it?
Huh?
Who's going to pay for it?
Anybody who lives in this country.
You know what the answer to that is.
It's going to be.
Don't be stupid. You know the answer.
I'm going to give you the answer. I'm going to say anybody who lives in this country.
Well, you're dancing around it, so I want you to say it.
I'm telling you, the people that live in this country.
Okay. So I am going to pay for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you don't want to pay for it.
I'm not going to pay for it.
Which is your right. And it's our right to get reparations.
It's not going to be.
But it's that's still up in the air. But the same way they find money to keep printing money for this pandemic to keep giving out. So if you guys can do that, then yes, we need reparations.
I didn't do anything.
No, you didn't do anything.
Mm-mm.
You wasn't here.
I'm not gonna. Nobody was here. I'm not gonna pay for something I didn't do. Sorry. I don't know. Call me common sense. Mm-hmm. Now let's say, all right, let's take it to its logical conclusion. You get your money.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the end of racism?
No, it's not.
Is everything fixed?
No, it's not. No, it's not.
So what's it going to accomplish?
But what it will accomplish is giving people who are oppressed and for the ancestors who helped build this country, giving us opportunity. Because the same people who own the land and own the farms which we worked on, their families are still benefiting for the wealth they started back then. And so the wealth that we get now, we can start to build our own wealth for our future generations as well. And so that's what it's going to do. Like racism is always going to exist. It's never going anywhere. That's period.
Does self-sufficiency come into point anytime?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I mean, again,
yeah.
I'm sorry for what happened 100 years ago.
But it's more. But it's going to be more. But it's going to take more than that, though. It's going to be more than that. It's systemic racism. It's everything all in the one. It's not just giving us money and say, okay, here you guys go.
Okay.
It's going to be education.
And I think again, I'm not trying to pick on you. You had a difficult time answering the question when I asked you, because I think deep down inside, you know it's wrong that I have to pay for something I didn't do. Why do my taxes go up? Honestly, why? I didn't do anything. I never owned a slave. I don't think there's one human being that could ever say, hey man, you made me feel like less of a man. Like, and again, this is why I tie the two together. A All right, we do all that. Does that make everything go away? Is everything magically better? Like at Michigan, is it Alakazam, Alakazoo, no more Schembechler Hall for you? Everything's better? I don't get it. I think the best way to confront things like that is to learn from history. We as a country have made horrible mistakes. And let's not make those mistakes again. Let's judge a man for what he does, not what he looks like. Call me crazy. I know that's a crazy thought, but I mean that's where we're at. And I think what's happening at the same time, and I know nobody else maybe will want to speak about this, what you're getting is you're getting a growing number of people like yours truly that are frustrated at this because I don't know what the end game is. Is there an end? Because I sure want to get to the end. I do. I want to get to the end. Where we can just all like look at each other and just go, he's a good dude. He's a good dude. Look, that dude made things happen for himself. And he overcame a lot and things like that. And I don't know what the rules are anymore. And there are a lot of people like me. And it's like, okay, well, if we do this, is everything better now? Is the University of Michigan healed? Is that stigma gone? If you just take that name away. If our government taxes us an incredible amount to give reparations to descendants of slaves, is it all better? I don't know how that makes things better. I've always thought if you teach a man to fish, that's the better way to do things.
Yeah, I think it's that. Teach a man how to fish, right? But I remember it's the quote, it's very hard to tell a bootless man to pull up himself by the bootstraps. And I'm pretty sure you heard that quote before. And so, you know, you talk about, or we talk about in this country about how, I mean, this is a whole other topic, but I mean, it's a lot, and we don't have time to get into it today, but we'll have a day where we'll get into it.
No, I think, you know what, I agree with you. I think there's a lot of this stuff going on in society today, and let's erase this, and let's erase that, and let's erase this, and it's like, okay, well, and I've said this before, is there an end game?
No, it's not an end game. I mean, at one point in time, they were trying to take slavery out of the history books, and just say, and they were trying to call us immigrants, that we migrated here, and they try to do that, but I mean, it's just a lot of stuff that happens to where is us taking it out or erasing it is not going to fix the issue. I think we need to talk about it and we need to deal with it head on. But that's the way I deal with trauma.
I couldn't agree with you more.
That's the way I deal with it. And
I don't get uncomfortable talking about things
No.
like this. I know some people do.
No,
I don't get uncomfortable. I think we need to talk more because I think what we're used to in this country is hearing one side or the other kind of dictate. And one of my problems in society today is assimilation. And
For sure.
no, you don't want to disagree with me. You want me to think like you, and I'm not going to think like
No.
you. I'm sorry.
No. The thing is, we can have disagreements and still respect each other throughout the conversation.
Absolutely.
All right. So, do you ever read?
No.
You know?
Oh, I do? Which one do you want me to do, Art? Hey! Sean Baligian here for 8 Mile Vodka. 8 Mile Vodka, born in Detroit, is distilled in single 90-liter batches to allow for optimum quality control and care. Then carbon filtered, aerated, and bottled at the perfect time to produce a subtle taste with smooth finish and a character all its own. It's an exceptional premium vodka that can be chilled and enjoyed straight or mixed to create an exceptional cocktail. Now, next time you're out, ask your bartender for an 8 Mile Vodka or pick up a bottle at Meijer. As always, drink responsibly. Another player thinks they can just go and play 2 sports. You know what? We actually have an athlete on our show. Maybe he's got a better perspective on this than anybody else, including yours truly. We'll get to it next. Woodward Sports.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
We have to get somebody registered. I completely forgot to do that. Art, I want to apologize to you on a personal level. I screwed up. Don't shake your head at me. Art, I'm sorry. If I screw something up, I don't want you to be blamed for it. I don't want anybody to be blamed for it.
It's not your fault.
Whose fault is it then? If I said I was going to do something and I didn't do it, whose fault is it?
What's that, Adam? I'm sorry, Adam was talking to me while I was trying to do my job. Again!
Joique, do you want to give a phrase out there? Do you want to give a phrase?
Yeah.
Or do you want me to come up with a phrase?
We love you, Art is the phrase. Because he needs it.
Don't do that like pandering,
We
coddling
love you,
bullshit.
Art,
I
is
get
the
that at
phrase.
home enough of you're nothing but coddled. I don't need that here.
We love you, Art.
Let's do
is
a
the
good
phrase.
show.
No, you asked me for a phrase and I said it.
Okay. Can we? We're
We
almost
love
going
you,
to hit
Art, is
all
the
the
phrase.
topics.
All right, do
So-
you guys
We're getting so
guys
close.
have the social medias up? So whoever the first person is on the social medias, just say we love Art, and we'll hook you up. Did we get a winner yet? Somebody said no, yes, no. Just type in we love Art, and you are automatically qualified. Hold on. Our 25K kick for crypto. Now each show will qualify one person per day. If you can kick a football into the back of our truck, you could win $25,000 in crypto. Listen and watch daily on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Also, follow us on IG and Twitter at Woodward Sports for more bonus chances to win. Your prize, once again, either 25K in Bitcoin or Doge.
Say it a couple more times.
Dogecoin. Winner gets to choose. Now you're being mean to me.
No. All right, we've got a winner. Shout out to Lynn. Lynn is our winner for today. So if you could email kennedy.broadwell.kk. I don't talk in proper sentences when I text at gmail.com, we'll get her squared away.
It's just Kennedy at Woodward Sports.
Oh, okay. Ooh, look at that look. Look at that look.
.com.
Not .org?
Damn, there is
so much tension.
There's a lot of in here today. It
must be.
It's palpable.
You know what it is, though? It's them cooped up in here together, work wife, work husband, and they're just going through some domestic stuff right now. They need to get ironed out.
All right, Cousins wants to go to the NFL. Let's talk about it. Let's try and hit all 8 today, guys. Come on, we can do it. What do you think?
Yeah, he's trying to go to the NFL because his MLB career. I don't know if he was tired of not getting his opportunity or if he was just ready to get out of there. But I don't know what Tebow is doing, but he's inspiring a lot of people to go out there and get hurt.
I like that. That was good.
He's inspiring a lot of people to go out there and get hurt. I don't know. I think switching over from football to baseball is a little bit more safe. And I wouldn't call getting a ball thrown at your head 100 miles per hour safer, but it's definitely safer.
I think there's a reason it's happened
both.
so infrequently.
I
I really do. Can you read that, Art? I'm not going to be able to read
Yep,
that.
so he said, I've decided it's time to chase my dream of playing in the NFL. I want to thank the Phillies, Rays Baseball, and Brewers organization for giving me the opportunity to play professional baseball, but more importantly, the people, experiences, and memories I'll keep forever.
You have to be a special kind of talent to be able to play in both. I'm sorry, you just do.
You do.
And the guys that were taught, Deion Sanders, icon.
Yeah.
Bo Jackson. Icon. Danny Ainge being able to play in Major League in basketball is crazy. That's going back years ago. But you have to be something special to do that. Yes, Fish.
Go ahead, Fish.
No, go, Joique.
Would it take Deion Sanders from a football game in a helicopter to the baseball game?
That was real.
That was real.
That was real.
Now,
that was real.
You know what? Now, is it possible to play both sports? I've done 2 sports in the same day where I ran track and played baseball in the same day, hopped the fence, ran track, came back, went to the baseball game, left, went back, ran track again, and went back to the baseball game. But that was at the same. Now, this is totally different.
Oh, I think it's insane.
This is totally different.
Yes, Fish.
So, okay, he could have said, I wanted to be in the NFL, couldn't get in the NFL, now he's playing baseball, so he's like his passion's NFL. But he's obviously doing this because, let's admit, He is not very good at baseball, hence why he's moving to the NFL.
That's what I'm saying.
Basically,
So,
what I'm trying to say is
you guys are right.
He sucks.
I want to say he's
So
first of
he's
all. I
moving
don't.
to
That's not what we're gonna say because anybody who has an opportunity to go and play in the MLB, I'm not going to disrespect them and everything they did to get there. But his career wasn't one of the best careers or ideas or ideal careers that you would want to have in any professional sport.
He doesn't even need to
but
be the
trying
best
to go
at his
to another professional
sport.
sport because you didn't have the career you wanted to have in another sport doesn't help your case.
I mean, there's a lot of baseball players making really good money.
Yeah.
So if he was making really good money, maybe he wouldn't have made the switch to the NFL. Maybe he just wants to play in the NFL. But if he's making good money, he probably wouldn't make the risk to jump to the NFL.
Yeah, it doesn't help your case at all. So, though I think he's going to be successful when he comes over. I hope he does. But in reality, no, he's not going to make a team. In reality, he's not going to he's going to understand how sore you really are after a training camp. He's going to see and realize how training camp really is. He's going to see those conditioning tests. It's not what you think it is. It's not. But, hey, you might be a physical specimen, go out there, you look the right size, but I've seen a lot of strong men go out there on that football field and get bodied. This is a totally different game you're playing. You're playing with grown men with different type of strength. So
listen to the man. Speaking knowledge there.
Yeah,
to your point, Fish, if we were talking about Milwaukee Brewers outfield, Dylan Cousins, we're not having this conversation. If Dylan Cousins was playing for the Milwaukee Brewers as opposed to the Nashville Slapdicks in AAA, we're not having this conversation. He stays with the Milwaukee Brewers and doesn't entertain this. Do you remember, gosh, when was it? Maybe 10 years ago. It's probably longer than that. Do you remember when there was the big rumor that LeBron James wanted to go play in the NFL?
Yeah.
Because evidently he was a real good wide receiver when he was in high school. Do you remember that?
Yeah. You know who else was a better wide receiver?
Who?
Who was actually getting scouted for football and not basketball? Allen Iverson.
Really?
Oh, he was nice. Allen Iverson was nice on the field. No,
see, I could see Allen Iverson do it. I couldn't see LeBron James do it.
Allen Iverson he didn't even like basketball initially. He loved football, and then just kind of fell in love with the game of basketball and was able to go do some great things. But if you look at some of his highlights from high school, he was it was like Reggie Bush in high school. He was nice. Good
See,
speed.
LeBron is so physically imposing. I mean, he's a big dude. You know, he's got the neck. He's got the shoulders. I mean, he's beefy and everything. Could you imagine, though, if he dies 3 times a game on the court, what would happen if he was playing football and went across the middle?
I don't think they would use him up the middle like that.
He would disappear. Just one hit, that guy. I mean, it might be Jaws of Life situation. It might be. Could you imagine that?
I don't know.
I don't even want to think about it. But people are going, oh, yeah, he can do it. I mean, look at his body. And the dude is buff. No disrespect. He's one of the best basketball players I've ever seen. He's buff. I'm not taking anything away from him. But like you said, Joique, sometimes that buff dude looks the part, but isn't that guy. He doesn't have that gorilla.
You know what, though? If I was a coach and I had LeBron on my team, I would use him only in the red zone. He'll be using the red zone jump ball. Who's going to jump with him? You would literally have to put Calvin Johnson out there to jump with him.
Yeah.
And even then, Calvin 6'5" and LeBron 6'8".
He'd be a fantasy stud.
Stop it.
I'm drafting LeBron. He has 10 receptions, but 8 of them are for touchdowns. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Like those 1-yard warriors and everything. All right, the boss says it's time to break. I always listen to the boss. We will hit the next topic on our sheet today as well.
Yeah. How do we close the gap in women's sports? Let's talk about it.
I think we're going to do another segment according to our sheet. You see what's next on our sheet?
All right.
We'll come back and surprise you next.
Yeah.
Joique Bell, Sean Baligian. This is Woodward Sports.
You don't fumble the ball at work. Hey, Joique Bell, Sean Baligian. See you guys next weekend.
Thanks, mate.
Oh, Bell's soft. Wait till it comes to New Zealand. Swore that out.
Hi. How are you? So glad you could join us here. Woodward Sports on a Thursday? Is it a Thursday? I don't know. I can't keep track of the days anymore. I know it's June 24th, but this is calling... We've officially come up with a name. It's called Balling with Bell. I don't know who came up with that, but I like the name. Was that you, Kennedy?
Balling with Bell.
Props. I always like to give proper attribution.
Balling with
Kennedy,
Bell.
You came up with it. I have always been a fan, okay, and I'm serious. We, and I'm going to include myself in your group, fans, media members, we think that we get football like these guys. And then you have a conversation with these guys more often than not, and you understand how little you know.
All right.
I always bring up, I had a conversation, I got to sit in a film room with Gary Pinkel, who was the head coach at Toledo and then later went on to success at Missouri. And I asked him once, can I come in and sit in the film room? I swear I'm not going to say a word. I want to watch how it works. And he said, if you say anything, we'll beat you up. But yes, of course you can. And then afterwards, it was funny because then I had 1,000 questions and they showed me things. Because the little things that these guys that live this game, live, eat, and breathe this game, the little things that they see, I'm never going to be able to relate to that. I'm not blowing smoke up his behind or anybody else's behind. I can study it as much as I want. I can learn all the names. I can learn all the stupid Super Bowl champions, all that stuff. They just see stuff. Their brains are wired differently than our brains are wired. Even if you were the guy that had, the tremendous high school career. So, with that being said, let's get right to it. It's Balling with Bell.
Balling with Bell. So, Sean, I'm going to ask you a question. When you look at this image right here, what's the first thing you notice? Because when you and I both talked about this a little bit earlier, you said that you're never going to apologize for another team disadvantage.
Yes.
Correct. So when you look at this, what's the first thing you see?
Well, it looks like they're going to bring pressure to the outside, but my guess, the safety creeping up is going to back up into coverage. That's my guess. So right now, you only got legitimately 1, 2, 3, the lineman. He's lined up outside, and you've got the 3 backers.
That's perfect. And that's the first thing you see. The first thing I see is the Lions' disadvantage. It's the Lions' disadvantage. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 players on the field.
Yep.
And so now they're down a guy. And when you're in a run game, you like to put a body on a body.
Was this in the Caldwell era?
No, actually, this was last year. Thank you very much. No, this definitely wasn't us. And right now, if you can rewind it back just a little bit. Can you rewind it back a little bit? At the beginning, hold up. We'll hit play and go to the end zone. Please, go to the end zone for me. The end zone view. Just let it play out. All right, it's about to go to the end zone view. And I want to show you this. Pause it. All right. So right now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blockers for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 men right now. So by them only having 10 people on the field and by them motioning Rudolph back to the left side, motion it for me. Hit play in slow motion. Pause.
Now I know what's going on.
Pause. The defense does not react at all. They don't react at all to this motion. And now you have 1, 2 guys right here, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4 blockers. You have 4 blockers for 2 guys here. You have the safety so far out. Hit play. Slow motion. This is going to be, pause it. This is power to the left and to the open side. And if you look, he's pulling for this guy right here that he just took because they just have more guys. They have more blockers than defenders at the time. Play it. And so the pulling guard is going up to the safety, and that's the biggest fear is for a safety to see a 300-pound man running full speed. Dalvin Cook is patient. He lets the play out, and he takes it for a 70-yard touchdown, taking advantage of everything the Detroit Lions failed to do. Ridiculous. But balling with Bell, breaking it down. Come back next Thursday. Are you happy, Art?
I like that, Art or Joique. Can I tell you why I like that? And as God is my witness, I did not watch that film play itself out, because a little game that I want to play is I want to see if I can even pretend to see what Joique is seeing or the running back is seeing. And Joique, I was actually happy to see that I did that, and especially once when Kyle Rudolph went in motion.
Yeah.
That, like, at that point in time, I go, oh, I know for a fact they're running to the left. Because I didn't remember that play, but like the way the Lions defense was set up, you know, and showing the blitz from the outside and everything, I was like, well, if the Vikings are smart, you run that tight end in motion, all he has to do is chip one guy. Yes. And this might go a long way. So honest to God, I didn't watch the play, but I love watching that stuff. It's fascinating to me. I'm sorry.
And so because even with that being the case, I'm not too worried about a blitz because the O-line is going to take any run through.
Yeah.
Right? They're going to take any run through. And so the whole time I'm looking, and I used to wear a smoke visor so that the defense can't see my eyes when I'm looking at. And so if I see Rudolph come across and motion across my face and I see the defense don't slide or react with them at all, and on top of that, they don't have any outside leverage to the left, it was one thing about that play I didn't like. Rudolph kind of turned his body, which gives a running back a one-way go because he's basically telling the defender that I'm going to give you the outside to run upfield. And so he's going to force the running back inside, which just so happened it was clear because they didn't have any defenders there.
And that's got one-way go?
It's a one-way go. So one-way go is basically you want your tight end, you want your blockers to stay head up on their blocks. That way you can go left or right, you can set it up. But if they turn to a side, you can only go one way then. And so just kind of playing the game, you just kind of know these small things. So if you look from the end zone version.
Jeez, oh, Pete.
So we'll let it play out. And that's why I like to watch. So when we watch film, we usually watch the film from the end zone version, this part. So if you look playing in slow motion, if you look at 82, he turns him outside. So basically, you can't go outside anymore. So you have to go up. You have to go up inside, and he has the speed to get downfield, make some guys miss, and
he made one guy miss. Isn't that unbelievable? I mean, literally, like watch this run. He made one guy miss. Watch 33. He broke one tackle. Okay, go ahead, Art. I mean, he made one guy miss. It's crazy.
He beat an arm tackle and just turns on the Jets. And if you look at the safety moves out of the way because he doesn't want to take on that big man chase. And so that's what really opens up everything right there when that safety kind of moves out the way instead of just coming straight down and meeting. He made a business decision and decided to get out the way.
What are you seeing? Okay, so now I want you to be Dalvin Cook for a second.
Yeah.
What are you seeing? I'm
saying 6 before the play even happened. First,
for real?
Yeah, I'm saying 6 before the play even happens. If
no
I had
shit.
to speak, yeah, I have 4 blockers. So if you go to that end zone, just the steal version, you're counting your blockers to their defenders. The defenders is only 2, so the defenders would be 2 past the center. The center has the head up zero technique on him. He has a head up guy on him. And then anybody to the left will be the defenders to that side. You count your blockers to the left based off those defenders. We have 4 blockers compared to their 2 defenders. So I'm looking at, if not a touchdown, a big play. And a big play for a running back could be 12-plus yards. And when that particular play, he was able to take a 7.
That's cool, dude.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious, Joique. I love when you guys explain that stuff because it's like I'm never going to know what it's like. I mean, sometimes you have to find your own hole. I mean, that was the beautiful thing. How many times did we say it with Barry Sanders? Everybody says, well, what if he had a great offensive line? Well, 2 things. That offensive line wasn't bad, okay? That wasn't a bad offensive line. Was it a great offensive line? Nah. But I think
Who's your favorite? Who Lomas was Lomas?
I love Lomas.
Kevin Glover.
Kevin Glover was great. I just love Lomas as a human being. He's just such a wonderful guy. Shout out Lomas.
So I worked with Kevin Glover for a second, and
Did
he
you?
used to give me stories about Barry, and I would say, okay, that's why he's the greatest. That's why
You know what? He didn't need no damn hole.
Yeah.
He didn't need no damn hole.
So
That's what made Barry Barry.
So funny thing is, so I did the intern at University of Maryland, and Kevin Glover just so happened to work at that AD's office. He worked in that department, and so I would sit down in his office. He'd give me stories.
Terps?
Yep. And so he'll give me stories about Barry. So day after the game, he'll come in, him and Lomas or some of the O-linemen would be in there getting treatment. And when they're done getting treatment, they'll be walking out of the stadium, heading back home. And when they were walking by the weight room, they would hear weights hitting, cling, cling, cling. And they'll walk in there, and Barry would be in there with 6 plates, 650 pounds on each side. And they'll walk in and say, "Hey, Barry, you need a spot?" And Barry said, "Oh, no, I'm fine, guys. You guys head on home." And they said, "Okay, no problem." So they kind of creeped around the corner as if they left, but they came back and they was watching. And Barry took the 650 off and then 10 sets of, did 4 sets of 10 with that weight. And this is in the middle of the season. And I'm like, you have to have some monstrous legs to hit 650 for 10 for 4 sets. I mean, so that's the type, and these are the stories I'm hearing about Barry, and just makes me say, wow, I looked up to the right person.
I love what Kenny said here. Look back at that play, and Kenny said, and that was with our defensive guru as the head coach. Kenny, that is such a brilliant point on many different levels.
It's two issues from the start of this play. First issue is only 10 players on the field, and then the second issue, they didn't react to the motion at all.
And you know what the third issue is to me? You always have to know the tendency of your opposition, right?
Right.
What's the tendency? You know damn well that guy sneaking up is going to blitz because Matt Patricia doesn't blitz. So that's why it's like, so basically you're tipping your cap to me. Not only do you have that formation, but you're showing blitz on the far. Ooh, we're going to bring the safety. Wait, no, you're not. You're going to drop back in coverage because that's what you do.
Well, the safety was coming down because he had the tight end. That's why it was coming down.
Son of a bitch. and then the safety didn't move with the tight end, which makes it even better.
All right, here we go. So when we come back after this break, we're going to talk about how can we close the gap in women's sports. Let's tap into it when we come back. Sean Baligian, Joique Bell, and this is What Was Sports. This is What Was Sports.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Welcome back. How are you?
Good.
I just want to say, Art, I miss you.
Yeah.
I miss you, and I miss the idea of you.
This is exhausting.
So he's gonna get frustrated at me. But Art, you know what? We only have 3 more things that we need to hit. All right.
Not even 3.
Will you have a conversation with us at the end of the show if we hit those 3 things?
About what? What is there to talk about? I have to focus on my job. Let's get through these 3 topics, all right? Let's be factual and prepped up about them, and let's talk about women in sports. Women in sports, everybody.
You're amazing, Art. How do we close the gap? How do we get marketers and fans to buy into women's sports? It's a great question.
How?
I've said it before. I've covered women's sports. One of the coolest events I've ever done was the Women's World Championship in hockey.
Mm-hmm.
I had the privilege of broadcasting it. It was awesome. It was great. In it, you know, I think for me, Joique, it's not just that I have a daughter, but covering some of these games it's great. You know, look. Are some things sloppier than men? Yeah. Are some things not as good as men? Yeah, all that stuff, okay. But you know what I think the biggest problem is? I think the biggest problem is, you guys tell me if you agree, there are stubborn people, and we are stubborn people. We are stubborn people. I use the analogy all the time. Some of you are never going to give the game of hockey a chance. I get it. I'm not going to begrudge you of it. I openly call myself out. Joique, I'm never going to give NASCAR a chance. Like a real legitimate chance. Never going to happen. I don't enjoy it. No offense to you if you enjoy it. I don't, do what makes you happy, but I'm never going to give it a chance. And I think the stubbornness of sports fans, that's part of the problem, don't you?
Oh.
No?
You won't give NASCAR a chance.
I'm never giving NASCAR a chance.
Have you ever driven a NASCAR or any type
I
of
was
race
in
car?
one of those street
Drag
rod
race?
racer,
Drag
roadster
racing?
racer
Drag
things.
racing?
Yeah, it was pretty intense.
You
But
should
I'm
try.
not driving in the races,
You should drive in a NASCAR a couple laps around the track and kind of feel how it brings you alive.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be interested in watching somebody else do it. Does that make sense?
I feel you.
I use the analogy all the time. Joique, I want to have a race in my house called the Baligian 4 And I'm going to take a bunch of different colored socks and I'm going to paint numbers on them. And I have one of those dryers that you can look through, the glass dryer. And we can watch the socks go around in a circle for hours in my dryer. And the sock that comes out first is the winner. I'm sorry, I don't have any interest in it. And again, I get all your shots in about hockey or football or whatever, and that's fine. Yeah. I'm just shooting straight with you guys. Yeah. And I think a lot of people feel that way about women's sports. I don't want to watch the girls. Honestly, if we're being honest, I think there are a lot of people that are just stubborn and don't want to give it a chance.
Well, I'm gonna disagree with you on that. Have you ever heard of the Fan Project?
The what?
The Fan Project. All right, so the Fan Project is this organization, and what they do is they get the licensing to go into real fans' social media and go into their archives and pull out their actions. So what are they looking at? Are they looking at sports? Are they looking at girls' sports? And studies came back that a lot of these people really love girls' sports because of their actions, not because of this is not your typical do a survey. They're going into your archives of your social media and pulling out certain content. And what they're doing is they're bringing the industry the most robust, in-depth fan and analysis that's ever been applied to any other sport or any other type of study. So it's kind of dope what they're doing, and it's kind of it's sort of like a business. You're kind of learning your demographic, and once you learn your demographic, you can learn how you need to attack it as far as marketing wise. And so they feel it's a huge depth, and I think that women's sports can kind of help grow the sports industry as a whole. And a lot of different industries and sponsors, corporate sponsors, endorsers are pulling back. But in reality, they need to be dumping more money into it because more people are getting more involved with women's sports.
No, and you know what, Joique? I hope that provides the impetus for some of the corporate dollars out there to decide, you know what, we'd like to invest in the WNBA, whatever the case may be. Because, I mean, that's where you make the money. I mean, what if you're looking to invest in something, if you're looking to advertise someplace, you want to go to a place that has a lot of viewers, that people are talking about, that all of those variables come into play. And if they don't feel the fans are there or the viewership is there, look, the reality is more often than not, you're just not going to attract the big money because they're going to spend big money to make big money.
That's absolutely true.
You know, and that's the unfortunate, I think, dilemma that a lot of the women are dealing with today. And it's no disrespect to them. Like, and Steve, I couldn't agree with you more. To each their own. If you don't like hockey, I swear I'm not mad at you, and I hope you're not mad at me if I don't like NASCAR or whatever. And I'm going to be the same thing with you. If you don't have any interest in watching female sports, okay. Well, am I supposed to get mad at you? But it is interesting. I think it's
It is.
It's. I wish that something could be done because I feel sorry for these girls that are working their butts off.
Working it off.
To get to the Clarissa Shields. I mean, that's a bad woman. That is a bad woman.
That's a bad girl.
Right?
That's
I mean,
a
she
bad girl
whooped my
deal.
ass.
That's a bad
something
girl
fierce.
deal.
And it's like, well, why aren't those opportunities there for her
Yeah.
that are there for men? And I don't know the answer to it. Is it sexist?
Yeah, but the thing
I don't know.
the thing is though, what if you look at her fight, she's getting paid less. If we talk about people not wanting to view her fights, she's getting more views than some of these top-notch boxers in the men's league or in the men's sport. Way more views, tripling their views, and still getting paid less. So is it that she's not getting views because that's not accurate?
I don't know.
It's not accurate.
Nah, I don't get it.
I'll tell you what we don't want to see. I don't want to see pictures taking their pants off to get checked by umps. I don't want to see that.
It's so stupid. It's such a mockery now.
It's a mockery.
You knew it was going to happen.
I don't want to see that. Let the boys play.
Look at Scherzer.
Is he telling them to hold up? Like what?
Oh, was he pissed? Did you see his stink eye too? Oh, was he? Look at that. Look at that glare.
Oh, look at him.
Look at that glare.
He didn't say nothing, though. He didn't say nothing.
That's even better to me.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Joe Girardi getting a hard ass. Look at that.
Throw him out of here.
It's so stupid. I love that Max keeps doing that. I love that Max keeps doing that. That is one intelligent man, by the way.
Yeah.
If you didn't know that about Max Scherzer, talk about a guy that gets it. Oh boy, that is an intelligent. He was fascinating to talk to when he was here. He just talk about business, Joique. Ooh, that guy his mind was like seven universes away, business wise. Trust me.
Oh,
he
my
was
type of guy.
I got some tips.
Sticky stuff.
Yeah,
we got sticky stuff, but we call it some. When we say sticky stuff, we're mostly talking about the cannabis industry. It's time for a break.
Is it time for a break?
Yeah.
All right.
It's time for Sean Baligian, Joique Bell, and this is Woodward Sports.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. And at Hall Financial, we treat our clients like family. And our number one priority is giving each of our clients 5-star service. Our passion for 5-star service, combined with our expertise, allows us to find the best possible solution for refinancing your home loan. We take the time to focus on both the individual and the numbers. We're going to walk you through the process and close your loan in half the time of our competition. Go to davidhallmortgage.com today.
Let me read this. Hold on. I thought our pal Lynn had a really good comment. Agree with you, Sean, but also the news networks also don't promote women's sports. WSN did it with women's college softball. WSN never mentioned them at all and were never covered. I don't get it. I don't get it.
And you know what it is?
I don't get it.
And it's not the anchors, it's not the people talking about it, because they get a script the same way we get a script, but they don't have the freedom to talk about what they want to talk about on their show. These are the topics. Talk about these right here. And even if they say, I want to talk about this, they have no say so.
Yeah, it's a weird dynamic, man. I wish, or woman, I wish I could explain it. I don't, I don't think there are a lot of sports fans that are ever going to give women's sports a chance. They're not even going to give it a chance. And, just like I guess I'm never going to give NASCAR a chance. Just it doesn't grab me, and that's how does it change though? I don't know. Kennedy, do you have thoughts? You're a young lady, right? You're a young athlete. No, I think you have a unique perspective on it. How do you change it?
I actually did a lot of research on this in school and stuff. I wrote a lot of very long research papers on it. That's why I wanted to ask you guys and see what you thought. But the bottom line is there's just no right or wrong answer, I guess. because people's first reaction to women wanting more in sports and wanting equality is always like, well, their ratings suck. They're not selling as many jerseys. But at the same time, it's like, well, how are we supposed to fix that if people won't give it a chance? So you're kind of just in this place where that you can't get out of right now in women's sports.
I think that's exactly.
Yeah,
I
but-
couldn't agree with you more. You well said.
Yeah,
Well
I
said.
heard what you're saying, but I know my sister just got drafted this year. And then not my biological sister, but
No, I get what
but a young lady that grew up under me, and I kind of watched grow and blossom to this beautiful basketball player and this beautiful human being and just great talent. And I remember we would have conversations, and she would say that she would want to go play ball overseas because it was more money overseas than going to the professional league here in the U.S.
Yeah.
And luckily, she changed her mind, ended up getting signed here, and not only get signed here by getting signed to Indiana, but also signing a big deal with Adidas. And so it's good to see that they are getting some notoriety, but I want to see that same notoriety be shown in their paycheck, in their bank account. And I see right now they made another huge stride when they upped the minimum for the girls basketball league. That was a huge step for them, and so it's growing. It's not growing at the pace that we want, but it is growing slowly but surely.
Nick said there are a lot of things in women's sports, think softball versus baseball, where they overcompensate rules and field sizes and stuff for women as well that sells women short, or it sets them up to fail a bit. Dave said, our buddy Dave the Butcher, I've said it a million times, women's softball is the best game to watch for me. I enjoy it. I one of those guys, I wouldn't stand in there with that ball whizzing like it does. I wouldn't stand in there. No way. Screw that. That giant softball heading for my melon. They bring me high heat. Kidding me? I'd go Pudge Rodriguez all day swinging at that high heat. Because I want to avoid it hitting my numbskull. Hey, Art, I don't know if you noticed this. We're about to hit our last topic today.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sean, for keeping it on
No
the tracks.
problem. Did you guys hear this
Juliana.
crazy story with Ben Zobrist and his soon-to-be ex-wife?
Soon to be.
Where do we start? I mean, it's just absolutely like disgusting.
Mind-boggling.
Across the board.
Mind-boggling.
So Ben Zobrist, who had been married, what was it, for I think 16 years? Ben Zobrist and his wife started to have some issues. I'm sorry. There's the lovely Juliana. Oh, look, my pastor's here. They started to have some.
Come upstairs.
Come tickle
deacon.
my ivory.
Come upstairs, deacon.
Let's sing a song together. They started to have some marital issues, which certainly there's nothing funny about that. We've all been there.
No.
And
now we are.
And then not only did they have the marital issues, but then they decided to
get some counseling.
Get some counseling, right? Ben stepped away from the game for a while, and while they were counseling,
she was getting counseled.
His minister
was counseling her in his personal chambers.
Just like how disgusting.
What's
like
up,
how
Kennedy?
disgusting in so many different ways, and it's just. I think what makes me sad is somebody that grew up with Christianity is it just makes me sad.
I'm not even surprised.
It's why people rip on religion. It's why people rip on Christianity, because I think they make the mistake that Christians are supposed to be perfect, and they're not supposed to be perfect. But
no one's perfect.
Especially somebody of the cloth to do something like that. Well, what do you think people are going to say? It's disgusting, man. Props to him, though. He basically said, here it is. Here's all of it. I know this makes me look terrible.
And
I know this makes me look bad, but this is what happened in my life.
And so now Ben is seeking for $6 million back from his pastor because why? Was he embezzling money from his nonprofit?
So the word that was used in all the articles was defrauding. So they were having this this man's charity at the church. And so the pastor was helping him with it and taking money from the charity every month. It was like $3,500 a month or something like that.
And he paid for his pastoral trip because, you need a pastoral trip.
Right.
And he took his family on the pastoral trip, and Ben Zobrist basically paid for that. Not only that, he tithed a reported $10,000 a month as well, on top of all that other stuff, which is just like, I don't know other way to say it, disgusting. And there was a story about how one day he was texting with the pastor. This was in the New York Times portion of it. He was texting with the pastor, and the pastor's giving him advice. And by the way, on the burner phone, his other phone, he and Juliana were making their plans for that afternoon where they could get together and do the dirty. And here Ben's like, throwing his heart out, pouring his heart out to him about what's going on with, his wife. And
what's going on. I'm pretty
and
sure
a
the
few
pastor's
minutes later,
married. And the pastor's probably married himself.
He was married. That's how they found out. The pastor was married, and his wife contacted Ben and said, I think there's something you should know. I found this burner phone. And, that's the way it went. Just 3 little kids as well. You just...
Messy.
I don't know what...
Disgusting, man. And I'm telling you right now, religion and churches, that's a big business. It's a big business. And so when you have things like this, he's going to have to answer to a lot of people. He's going to have to answer to a lot of people.
Yeah, magically, they already said he's not part of the that particular congregation anymore. I don't know when exactly that happened, but how often do you hear that, right? When something like this happens? Well, he's not here anymore. He probably wasn't there the second this caught the light of day.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably how it works out, but...
Yeah.
I memean, props to Ben. Everybody's airing his dirty laundry all over the place. He had to know this was going to happen. Yeah. And as Steve said, she's going to end up with nothing over this. She should get 0 in divorce. Now, I don't know how you, the kids would get something, but I don't know how you could come away with saying, I deserve my monthly stipend. Maybe you could do more realtor commercials or whatever. Art, can you play that? That's really uncomfortable. I don't know what it is about that commercial. It makes me feel really uncomfortable.
It's giving.
Oh, hi. My pastor was just over and was railing me.
It's giving me Alice in Wonderland. It's giving me Alice in Wonderland.
She looks so fake, doesn't she?
It's giving me Alice in Wonderland.
And if you want to get banged like you've never been banged before, maybe you should get it on with your pastor.
It looks like one of those scenes that would come on HBO at 3 o'clock in the morning, right before the big scene. That's what it looks like. Boom, 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 boom.
Art, I just want to.
All right, so now we got through all our topic. Now,
Art, I know. Art, I wanted to take a minute and just say, Art, we did it.
Art, we did it.
Can you just respond? I know you're telling us to wrap up. Can you say, good job, guys, we did it? Because we're a team. Can you say we did it?
Good job, guys, we did it.
And I have a question for you.
I don't have an
we
answer
started
for
a group chat yesterday. Why did you leave our group chat yesterday?
He left? Oh, the other group chat.
Hey, Sean, can you say gang gang?
I'm saying goodbye. I'm like
gang,
doing
gang.
signs.
Oh, you better
early.